So we've been solving equations, and everything that we have solved has gotten an answer, one answer. And what we're going to see today is that's not always the case. So today, the question that we are trying to answer for every equation we look at is how many solutions does this equation have? Remember, a solution is something that makes the equation true. So does it have one solution? Does it have more than one solution? Does it not have a solution at all? So we're going to see what that looks like, and we're going to practice with that. The equations part is going to be exactly the same. It's just now we're answering the questions, how many solutions? So we look at this first one, 40 plus 14j equals 2 times negative 4j minus 13. Remember, if that line through the middle helps you, draw it. I look at the left side. There's no distributive property, nothing to combine. So I'm just going to copy it. I look at the right side. I do have distributive property here. Don't lose your equal sign. So 2 times negative 4j, negative 8j. 2 times negative 13 is negative 26. I don't have anything to combine. Both the left side and the right side are simplified. So now I look for my smallest variable. I'm going to add 8j to both sides. I get 40 plus 8j equals negative 26. Don't lose that minus sign. I'm going to subtract 40 from both sides. I get 8j equals negative 66. I divide both sides by 8, and I get this fraction. I don't really like it, but I don't really care. Did I get an answer? I did, didn't I? I got one answer. So this equation has one solution. When you get an answer, you get a solution. If you can get it down to j equals something and you know what that something is, that's your solution. Okay, so let's look at the next one. 3x equals 3 times the quantity x plus 4. I'm going to draw my line down the equal sign. There's nothing to do on the left, so I'm just going to copy 3x. I'm going to distribute over here, and I get 3x plus 12. So I look at my variable. They're on both sides of the equal sign, and I see that they're equal. 3x equals 3x. So I already know that this is a little weird. So I'm going to subtract my 3x from both sides. I get 0 equals 12. So my variable went away, and I get this statement that says 0 equals 12. Well, how often does 0 equal 12? Never. If you get a statement that is not true, your answer is no solution. That means there is nothing that you can plug into this equation and get a true statement. Now, you can come back up here and sort of reason this. If I have a number, and then I have a number plus 12, right? These are the same thing. If I have a number here, and I have that same number plus 12, will those ever be equal? They won't. There is nothing you can plug in for x that would make this true. So this equation has no solution. All right, let's look at this one here. 2x plus 10 equals 2 times the quantity x plus 5. So nothing I can do on the left. There's my equal sign. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 5 is 10. Something looks weird. 2x plus 10 equals 2x plus 10. I see my 2x. I'm going to subtract it from both sides, and I get 10 equals 10. How often does 10 equals 10? Well, that's always true, right? If you get something that's always true, that means this has a lot of solutions. This has infinite, I spelled that wrong. This has infinitely many solutions. That means it doesn't matter what you plug in for x. If you plug in x, or if you plug in 1, you're going to get a true statement. If you plug in 2, you're going to get a true statement. If you plug in negative 55, you're going to get a true statement. If you plug in the square root of 2,362. You're going to get a true statement, okay? And notice right here, I have something equal to itself, right? 2x plus 10 equals 2x plus 10. How often does something equal itself? Always. That's always true, so you have infinitely many solutions. So your options here, you can have one solution, no solution, or you can have infinitely many solutions. So keep in mind, all of these are done the exact same way. You're going to solve them, you're going to see what happens, and then you're going to answer how many solutions. So this one, what happens? I get negative 8x minus 4 equals negative 8x minus 2. Now at this point, you may go ahead and recognize that I've got the same variable, but two things that aren't equal on both sides. So negative 8x and negative 8x are the same. These two things are not the same. But if you don't see that, go ahead, add 8x to both sides, and I end up with negative 4 equals negative 2. How often does negative 4 equal negative 2? Never. So your answer is, since you got a false statement, your answer is no solution. Next one. Negative 5 minus 9x equals 3 times the quantity 1 minus 3x minus 8. And we'll draw my line here. So I have negative 5 minus 9x, nothing I can do on the left. On the right, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times negative 3x is negative 9x, and minus 8. I can simplify. Remember, don't start moving anything until you're completely simplified. 3 minus 8 is negative 5. Minus 9x. Now right here, if you notice that those are exactly the same, negative 5 minus 9x equals negative 5 minus 9x, you can go ahead and finish that, or finish at that point. If you don't notice that, move your variable, and you get negative 5 equals negative 5. How often is that true? Always. If you get something that's always true, your answer is infinitely many solutions. All right, if at any time you're ready to try on your own, go ahead. I'm going to work these next two with you and then leave the last two for everybody to try on their own. So, all right, I've got distributive property here. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 2 is 6 minus 3x. The other side, there's nothing I can do, so it's just 6 plus 3x. Then I've got 6x minus 3x. That's 3x plus 6 equals 6 plus 3x. Is that exactly the same? Does 3x plus 6 always equal 6 plus 3x? It does, but if you don't see it there, you can go ahead and subtract that variable, and you get 6 equals 6. How often does 6 equal 6? Always. If you get something that's always true, it's infinitely many solutions. Okay? Next one. Distributive property. 6 times 2x is 12x minus 36 equals negative 7 times negative 2x is positive 14x. 7 times 4 is 28, okay? Both sides are simplified, so I'm going to move my smallest variable. And I get negative 36 equals 2x plus 28. I'm going to subtract 28 from both sides. And I get 2x equals 64, negative 64. Divide both sides by 2, and x equals negative 32. Did I get an answer? How many answers did I get? 1. This has one solution because we found a value of x that will make the equation true. All right, I want you to try these two on your own. Pause the video, work both of them, tell me how many solutions each of them has, then turn the video back on and check your work. All right, so I got the first problem had one solution. I got the second problem had no solution. I want to point something out on the first problem because this type of thing confuses people. When you added this 24 to both sides, you got this 0 here. You have to write it because there's nothing else over here on this side of the equal sign. There's got to be something on both sides. Then when you divide, what is 0 divided by anything? 0 divided by anything is 0, right? 58 times 0 equals 0. And when you get 0 as an answer, that's a solution. Sometimes people will get 0 and they'll say, oh, it's no solution because it's 0. 0 is a number. That is a solution. So if you get 0 as an answer, like x equals 0, then it has one solution. All right, if you have any questions, write them down, and we'll do some practice next.